We're the Legends of the Stoop. We're here to advocate, educate, and inspire society. Stoop. Coming at you live from the South Side.
Welcome back to Legends of the Stoop. I am your host, Mike Pernice. I know we have taken some time off, but I promise you it was for a good reason. I will be coming out with some details periodically over the next couple months about where this business is taking a turn. So today, joining me in my new studio over at my girlfriend's house, thank you, shout out to her for giving me the space to continue to do what I love to do, and that is have my friends on to talk about their music, their businesses, all their career ambitions. Today, stopping by the Stoop at the new location is none other than my best friend who I started this journey with, Colby.wav.
Yes, sir. What's up, brother?
Welcome, brother.
I'm fucking glad to be here, man.
Been a minute.
Yeah, for real. It's been over a full year now since you launched with the failed disco. What a memory that was. Jeez.
Dude, all that hype.
I know, man.
All for it to just come
been,
crashing
well,
down.
hey, now we're here because of it, so
this is very true.
It wasn't a waste, yeah.
No, it was not. Every journey has a starting point. Some better than others.
This is true.
We had a hurdle to overcome early, but we're
here.
Had
Alec back recently too.
Yeah.
Talk about B-sides and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's killing it, man. He's out here really doing it. I'm proud of that, dude.
I mean, half my wardrobe is now B-side.
Yeah,
so.
for real. That's definitely. I'm not going to the mall or any of that shit anymore. It is B-sides only, baby.
Yeah. There's him and Annika, or as most of you know her as Ooh Baby, are really going to be what I think is the forefront of what is coming for Millville.
Dude, yeah, Millville is going to explode.
Yeah.
We were talking about, I think Alec actually just bought a house across the street from his shop.
Awesome.
Yeah. And he, I forget exactly what like the price point was, but it was like dirt cheap for city limit property. And,
right.
Yeah, man, that's the hope, is that it's going to blow up and he's going to have his shop there and he's going to own property and dude's going to be set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great.
It's definitely on the come up.
Yeah. I mean, he deserves it. He puts a lot of hard work in. You know what I mean? Just like you have with this new album coming out this week.
Yeah. Oh, man. It was a lot. I didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
Like a year ago or so, like when quarantine started, I kind of had a couple of tracks. My thing in the past has been just little EPs and stuff. I've done a couple of like 4 or 5 track EPs.
Right.
And I had a little handful of tracks and I was like, I'm just going to do another EP. This was like back in last February or March-ish.
Okay.
And then when quarantine started, I had not like made a plan to release it or anything. I was just sitting on this music, and because I had so much free time, I was just making song after song after song, and it was like every track was blowing my mind more than the last one.
Right.
So I just decided that I was gonna put it all to the side and try to make like a full-length project, because hey, what's up? I had never done that before, and this has been something that I've been thinking about since I was like fully 15 or 16 years old. As soon as I realized that I wanted to pursue music, the goal has always been a real like feature-length album.
Right.
So I remember telling people like back in March or April, whatever, like, yeah, man, I'm gonna make an album or whatever. And people would be like, oh, cool, when's it coming out? And I would just say,
whatever.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
And now here we are a full year later, and it took a lot longer than I thought.
I mean, I remember we were talking about it. Wasn't it originally supposed to be like around Halloween or like November or something like that?
I've had like 5 different.
Yeah.
Well, the first one, the very original one, was going to be on my birthday.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is in July, most of my plans for that fell through because quarantine was so like, it was hard on everyone's mental. Right. So I just was trying to power through that instead of putting extra shit on my plate. But then the next one was going to be like early fall. But then around that same time, Rain started showing me clips of Love on Highland, and then was telling me about how he wanted to bring me on for that project. So I put my own shit on halt just because, like, I didn't even do that much work for Love on Highland. I did the 2 tracks, Introvert and Bliss, which are still 2 of my favorite tracks I've ever made, and he absolutely fucking killed them. That album is phenomenal.
Yeah. Introvert is unreal.
Dude, it's getting some airplay now too.
I
You
heard.
seen it? Yeah,
I heard.
It's getting in rotation.
That's
a little
awesome.
Bit. Yeah.
I'm so happy for it. I'm so happy for the both of you.
Fingers crossed, man. Let me see what it's at now. But anyway, yeah. So I put my own shit on hold.
Yeah.
Not even just because I needed to. But I didn't want our release dates to clash or anything like that. Like, he's the fucking homie.
Not only
almost
that,
at 20K here, bud. Yeah, hell yeah.
Not only that, honestly, I think this is the perfect time to release your album, just based off of its like theme, the energy that it brings.
Yeah.
Like as we're heading into like, you know, spring just started. I mean, we just sprung forward.
Did I tell you that already?
What?
That's why I chose this date, because the 20th is the first day of spring.
Yeah.
And the sound of this album is like almost the same kind of vibe as, like, I don't want to compare myself too much, but like my favorite album ever is Good Morning by Mac.
Yeah.
Good AM.
Yeah.
Because that's what that theme is like good morning, start of something new, opening new doors kinds of shit.
Right.
And that's what this makes me feel.
Yeah.
And so that led me back to the next release date that I was going to do after Rain's project was going to be in January, but January was just like so depressing and shitty. And I just wanted to power through it. And a lot of the album is very like sunshiny, good mood kind of music. And I thought it would have been killed before it even launched if I had released it during like shitty, depressing January, February, you know?
Yeah.
So that's, March 20th was like 100% the day, first day of spring, symbolic. It's also Redge's birthday. Shout out to the homie.
Shout out. Old man.
Yeah, for real.
But no, like I think it was a great choice. Like I said, just the energy this album brings and just the theme that like kind of I get from it of this like this journeyman of the soul, just like starting a little bit with Translucent and then where you end up all the way at Mojave, just like Mojave. Yeah.
Like the desert.
Yeah. Look at me, English guy over here. But Mojave, just like where you go, and like I said, like guesses. I keep calling it changes. Guesses just takes what everything that you embody, in my opinion, can be summed up with that song.
Hell yeah.
Because your style is so unique in that you have this ability to be so fluid with it and just create so many different experiences is just very, in this album as a whole. Like I remember we talked about at one point of maybe not even doing it as an album.
Yeah.
And just because you were like, you know, it's kind of all over the place. But in my opinion, I think I even argued with you back then was, well, dude, like that's kind of you and your style is the fact that like you can go all over the place.
Yeah, and it's crazy that it went from that all over the place kind of scatterbrained mess almost to like the final 8 tracks that I decided on became like really fluid.
Yeah,
and they are all super different. They're all kind of representative of even different subgenres of electronic music. No 2 tracks are the same, but they all just like, it just happened that it all flowed together, which is awesome. And that's when I really knew that like this was, you know, like when you're working on a project, you can tend to fall into that perfectionist mindset,
right?
Where you just want to keep editing it and keep changing stuff and whatever. But once I found this flow, I had to like force myself to pump the brakes and just like, this is it right here. Don't overthink it. Just do it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm glad we came back around to Guesses because I wanted to tell this story earlier. So the day that I made Guesses, which is by far the most summery, good vibe song on the album. It just sounds like, you know, you're on the beach. Playing volleyball with the homies or some shit, you know.
It just sounds like a perfect summer day of where like you start off doing one fun thing, then it just goes to another. You know what I mean? It's just like boom, boom, like new experience after new experience.
That day that I made that song, it was in February. So when like we had just had a few weeks straight of just like cold and clouds and gray and bullshit. And I remember I scheduled my appointment with Maria for this tattoo.
Yeah, show the camera.
if you can get a good like, it looks kind of like shit now, but
it was very prominent.
yeah. Well, I just need to get it touched up.
Yeah.
But that day, I had scheduled it like 2 weeks ahead of time, so I didn't know. But that day ended up being like the first beautiful, clear, sunny day that we had in weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So right off the bat, my dopamine was through the roof, and then my serotonin, whatever. And I get there and I get this sunshine tattooed on my palm. And the idea behind this is that like no matter where I'm at, I always got a little sunshine with me. Like no matter how bad things get, you know.
Yeah.
And then I was in the car on the way home just blasting Hippie Sabotage. And they're like, you know, that guitar-y electronic. And I was like, I really want to make a track that's like along this type of style. And I got home and I was just feeling that vibe so much between the sunshine and a beautiful day. And like Maria was good vibes too. I busted that whole track out from beginning to end in like 2 hours tops. Just, I found the guitar sample and that was it. From there on, I think I like went back later that night to do some mixing and stuff, but it was just so fluid and such a complete creative flow zone that it was one of those moments where it felt like it was coming to me rather than me like trying to make something or forcing myself to do something, you know.
Right. So, now how many songs did you create in total during this process, and then like how did you then go about like in a lack of term, like cutting the fat basically
right
down to the 8 final tracks that we have here?
So that's the thing, man, is like I said earlier, it was a constantly evolving thing. The original EP that I had back last year that I thought I was going to release, none of those songs are even on here because it's all like it evolved so much. I probably ended up in total making between like somewhere between the 15 to 20 range. Okay. And that's why it was kind of all over the place. There were a bunch of tracks that I just like me and Rain worked on some stuff that I mean we're still sitting on, and you know, a couple other of the homies. But I don't know, it got to a point where I just wanted it to sound cohesive. So I think I remember when I texted you that it sounded all over the place is when I started like kicking a lot of those tracks. Yeah. And so even just up to a month ago, I was taking tracks that I thought were going to be on the final draft and replacing them with like older songs that I made in the beginning of quarantine, and even one song that I made like last year because it just fits so well. Yeah. And I knew that it was going to be 8 to 10 tracks the whole time, but I had made about 15 or 20 just in the process of trying to figure out
what the sound was.
Yeah, and where it was, where I wanted it to go.
So when you get to creating, are you just diving in and then, or do you sit down and like kind of like plan out like a theme or like a message that you're trying to get across, or do you just kind of just get into it and see what the tracks do and then go from there?
I've had this exact conversation with Rain because my thing is I'm a very experimental creative. That's why all of my songs sound different because I never have any idea what the fuck I'm gonna do. I just like go into it, and you know, I'm not even that traditionally trained in music. Like I can't read music, and I can't. If you were to tell me to play a C on a piano, I would have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Right. But then I can sit down and just freestyle on the piano because I know how it sounds to my ear. Right. So all of my creativity is pure experimentation, always. And if I get into a space or a zone where I'm like supposed to create something, like if I'm linking with a rapper or a singer that has a very specific sound in mind, I get like anxious and nervous because I don't even know if I can do that. You know, I just like everything that I've ever made has just come from like, oh, this sounds cool. What if I did this? Maybe not. Maybe delete the whole thing. Maybe try this. You know. Like, So, I'm not. There are a vast majority of the producers that I know. I'm not going to name any names or anything in this whole interview, but are formula producers, and there's nothing wrong with that. No, right. But no, I'm just complete wing it. I cannot stick to the formula for my life.
Yeah, and it's definitely not for everyone. And then like the whole purpose behind creativity is building your own way to do things.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like where me, like I'm very like you know me, I'm very formulaic. I'm very step by step by step by step. Which
Not
is,
me.
you know, when it comes to creating, that's why sometimes I hit those red blocks and then I'm sitting here like, all right. And then
you
this
gotta
is
rely on instinct.
yeah, and then but then that's also why I reach out to like you so much too and like get your input is because like you provide a completely different way of looking at things.
Yeah, it's the left versus the right.
Right.
Or whatever. What's the left brain is the
left side brain is like you're very it's like the engineering
side.
methodic step by step, right?
Yeah.
And then right side is the full
The
creativity.
right?
Yeah. And it's like
man.
cool because like I have the ability to do both. However, it's like sometimes the right side of the brain gets blocked by the left side and vice versa.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
and that's a big thing that a lot of people underappreciate when you're in the creative zone is taking a break, taking space, or getting a new set of ears on it or something.
Yeah.
You know, I'll spend hours creating something through experimentation, and that's usually when I'll come up with like the bodies of the track, you know, like what the I guess like the music theory side of it is going to be. And then I'll take a break, step back, think about it, you know, let it resonate in my head. And when I come back and I have to start doing the arranging and the mixing and stuff, that's when you have to look at it from the more engineering, like musical software type of shit side, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, taking a break helps tremendously.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that I've worked on is like, I mean, just right now, I mean, I haven't posted an episode in probably 2 months.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of it was just because I got into the student teaching, you know, I'm working 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
Then I was taking 2 accelerated courses on top of it. So I'm taking a 16-week course in 8 weeks. So I'm taking 2 of those. And it was just like, I'm so overwhelmed and I want to make sure that I'm performing at peak ability at the internship right now with student teaching because I mean, I would love to walk out of there with a job opportunity, you know, even though that's not exactly where I want to go at this point in my life, as we talked about earlier. But like, obviously, like that's my focus right now is like my degrees right now are coming first. Cause if I don't get those, I'm not going to be able to go where I want to go right now. So it's like, I had to shift that focus for a moment. But taking a break definitely helped with this because it allowed me to just like think behind the scenes. All right, what needs done? What do I need to get? Like I have to get contracts put in place. Like there's a lot of back end stuff that I realized that like, hey, if you want to be actually official and start like being a profitable like over the next year here, like there's back end work that needs addressed.
This, and
right.
this,
It's like time to it's time to stop with the content. You have enough out there right now where like if you take a month, 2 off, it's not like your following ship's gonna dip to where it's not recoverable.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I was like, it's okay. We can take a break. Like, it's all right.
Yeah.
You're okay.
You appreciate it so much more when you do get back to creating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've missed like having this, like having people come by. I mean, with you, it's different because we know each other, but I miss like the times when it's I don't even know the person other than from the DM. Yeah.
It's like this is your first time even meeting them, let alone diving into all this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I missed this experience and it's like, it's made me, like you said, appreciate it so much more.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You know?
Well, that's, man, I can relate to that fully too. Cause that's like the workload of dropping an album. No one tells you what that's like. You know? I tweeted the other day, I was like, any of you guys that have dropped a whole album, like, fucking good for you, dude. This shit was a lot. And it's not even really what you think. Like the actual producing of the album was like 50% of the workload. Right. And then, you know, as a producer that tries to stand on their own 2 feet in the artist game, which you don't have a lot because it's a lot harder,
right?
Then you got to lean on artists for features and stuff like that, which my friends made it a lot easier. Like, thank God that I had the people to work with that I did for this project, because like Rain, Alec, Ingrid specifically are all just like super easy to work with. They're all super professional and they're all just so fire. They're so talented, all of them, that like once I have the beat and I can get it in their hands,
Yeah.
that's pretty much the end of what I
Yeah.
need to do.
I mean, they're very trustworthy, very driven people. And like you said, they all, when it comes to business, they are
They get it
very
done.
professional.
Yeah.
Like they're great friends. Like I'm privileged to call them friends. But when it comes to the business side of things, like you said,
they
it's
know
all
what they're
about the
doing.
professionalism
Yeah,
at that
exactly.
point. And
The only
that's what I
person-
respect.
Yeah, like me and Rain always have a good time when we're in the studio. Me and Ingrid have never linked in the studio. We did this collab virtually,
Mhm.
but it was a good time. And when me and Alec, he recorded this shit on his own, but like
Yeah.
when me and him chill, it's just we just fuck off. You know? There's no business whatsoever going down when me and Alec chill. The only thing that's going down is a fucking 30 rack of Budweisers. But so shit, what was I saying? Oh, so yeah, I had to, I wanted to do all of the post mixing and stuff on my own too. I didn't want to rely on other engineers because that's something that I don't have a lot of experience in. The only way that I'm gonna learn is to do it myself, and what better way to do it than on my own project?
Yep. And it's quarantine.
Yeah,
you got time.
Exactly. So I did a lot of research. I mixed all of the vocals into all the tracks myself, and I think it turned out really well.
Yeah.
And that was honestly, the mixing the vocals of those 3 tracks was as much work as producing all 8 of the tracks, dude. Just because I had no idea what I'm doing. Like if Cam or someone sees this, he would probably fucking laugh at me because he's a god engineer. He sat, and the night that we made Bliss on Rain's album, I watched him engineer this shit, and he's on his computer like looking like a fucking hacker in a 90s movie, just like just moving shit all over the place, like going nuts.
Yeah.
But me, I'm sitting there like I have to look up a YouTube video of where to put every
like
single
on your,
little
you got
thing.
one on your phone,
Exactly.
and then you're looking up at the screen like, crap, it went too far, I gotta rewind.
Exactly. So for what would take Cam like 30 seconds, or like a Redge, or what's the other dude's name, JL, it took me like hours. So yeah, but that was good. That was a great learning experience. I'm glad because now I am pretty confident in that, and I have that in my skill set too.
Yeah.
And then just I guess like the last step of that creative process that was really tedious was like, picking the final tracks, picking the order they're in, coming up with some cover art, figuring out who's going to do the cover art, and, all of that shit. And it was just, that's why when I say like, they'll tell you what you're getting into when you make an album. I thought I was just going to like produce a bunch of songs on my laptop and then drop it. Yeah. No, not even close.
Yeah. I mean, and then you still have the whole marketing aspect.
Yeah. Which I haven't even dove into that yet. That's like, I'm waiting until the shit is out. Because that is, I could do as much work, if not more, on the marketing and the promo as I did on making the album. Yeah. So I don't even want to think about that yet. We'll start with that in a week. But I've started to come up with a little plan and stuff. I think I got an idea of what I'm gonna do.
Good. Well, I mean, hey, that's what I do. So
yeah, I know. That's why I'm here, baby.
Well, I think this is a good point to like play some music and kind of introduce the album. So what is the official name of the album?
Simulation, and it is spelled SIMYOULATION.
Gotcha.
And
why? What's why is it spelled the way it's spelled?
Well, so I've always thought that this is gonna sound so fucking stupid, but I heard the podcast about Joe Rogan and Elon Musk talking about like the simulation theory. And not like those two dudes specifically sold me on it, but then I just was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, dude, Jesus Christ, this really all could just be like a simulation built around you. Yeah. And that was
it's user generated.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a user generated simulation.
Simulation.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that's what you were getting at.
Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much exactly what it is. And this it works perfectly because this album is like, any artist would say that their album is, you can see the world, or you can see the universe through their eyes, through their ears. So this is like my simulation.
Yeah.
You know, this is what
So
I'm living in.
explain to me a little bit of the cover art here.
Oh,
So what's
yes.
going on?
I love the cover art, man. So that's me sitting in a chair, obviously. The mask that I'm
Is
wearing.
that a toilet or is that a chair?
It is, no, I'll show you here. It is this
Okay,
hand
the
chair.
hand chair.
Yeah,
Okay.
from B-Sides.
Gotcha.
This mask was created by Annika.
Okay.
I mean, for people that are listening, know her better as Oh Baby. It is so sick. It's just so trippy. Like the dripping eyes and stuff are just. I loved it. I hit her up last summer. It was like, this was back, like I was saying, when I was talking about the album before I was even ready to be talking about it. I hit her up in like June. It was like, yo, I'm gonna do an album at some point. I have an idea. Like, I want you to make a mask for it. Blah blah blah. And Annika is another one who's super professional. So if you hit her up with like a business inquiry, she like wants you to get back to her.
Right.
So I hit her up. It was like, yeah, I want this mask at some point. And like 2 months had gone by, and she was like,
what's up?
do you want this fucking mask or not, dude? Yeah. So I finally, I went down and grabbed it, and I was so hyped to see how it turned out. Like, I could not be happier with that. And then it just sat in my room for like 8 months until I was ready to shoot the cover.
Yeah.
And so I knew what the vision was gonna be, and then I hit up Alec, and it wasn't like, I didn't need anything crazy. I just wanted like a shot of me in the street. I knew that.
Yeah.
And we just took a couple of shots around Millvale. And that's the one. So the picture was shot by Alec. The mask is by Annika. The outfit that I'm wearing is actually by Alec too. They're all B-Sides items.
Yeah.
And then I did the editing and the framing and all that shit myself.
Awesome.
So yeah.
That looks really good.
And this, if we can take a quick little side tangent, I have like a little contingency here. So look at like the format here of this one.
Okay.
If we go to my, I
can't believe anyone actually uses Yahoo as a search engine.
dude, I didn't do it on purpose. Everyone has said something about that every single time I've ever pulled that up. This was my first EP.
Oh,
So it's in the same format.
Yeah.
And that's my, like, even down to the double graphics and stuff, you know, like, and the red and blue lighting and all that shit. So I wanted to have some continuity there. But yeah, that's pretty much my like theme, you know.
Yeah. Go to the one with all the tracks on it.
Oh yeah, and then for the back, it's the exact same shot, same chair, just without me in it. And that's.
I like the little wave down below.
Yeah, it's just a little. I literally took like the paintbrush cursor and just went.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I get a very like Quentin Tarantino end credits scene vibe from the back here, which I dig.
Dude, I love the red version of the chair.
Yeah, right.
So like
very trippy. This is
very prominent. But then I like how the blue is just like faintly there.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's like, what you can see it even better here on the first. The blue looks like a little ghost in the background.
Yeah, and it's like not much detail, whereas the red has just like almost all the detail.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the red or the green, or I'm sorry, the blue is like the soul, and then the red is like the physical body, and then the middle, it's like the two meeting together.
It's just all the different versions of oneself that make up the whole, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I didn't even think that deeply into it, but it makes a lot of sense. I just did that effect and I was like, oh, that looks sick. But
hey, it's the English guy in me coming out.
Right, yeah.
Digging deep.
What did they mean by the curtains were blue? Like, shit like that. Yeah, man, but yeah, that was another one of those like little tedious things that was just kind of more than I expected it to be, was making the cover art and coming up with all of this, but yeah.
No, dude, it looks really good.
Hell yeah.
It looks really good.
Because it definitely is not professionally made at all. It's literally just me on my laptop with some software, you know? So
Canva.
Yeah,
for all those you out there.
Canva.com.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Allow me to pursue my dreams freely.
Swear. Yeah.
No, but this looks really good, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, and I think it really encapsulates the whole project too, and the vibe that you're getting with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's play some music. Let's jam out.
Yeah, for sure. So
The pops just finished their bands, so I think they're a little
they're
tired.
ready to hear some jams. You want to hear some?
Lola, you
bangers?
want to hear some jams?
All right, so let's start with that, because we were talking about the guesses track earlier. So I can show you. Oh. Nice.
Yes.
We can edit that. Here, I can control the volume on mine
You're
if
good
you
now.
know that. Restart, and you can edit and whatnot. Yeah.
You can turn all the way up on yours.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, this track was actually most of the tracks on here were the kind of creative process where it feels like it's coming to you from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because it's just doing one thing and it works, and the next thing just works perfectly with it, and it all works together so well.
Yeah.
And this is definitely the most perfect example of that. So.
No, like I said, I think because where we start with translucent, like exactly kind of just like the motto that we use in English class to look at a novel, right?
Right.
It's like you start out here with just like the intro, the beginning level, right, with translucent, then you're riding up, and then like I said, I feel like Guesses is your climax point where it really, one, just kind of the reason I say it is because it encapsulates this whole part of like this journey that you're going on while you listen to the tracks.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like it's that turning point where you go from that like very kind of somber, very just like wavy vibe to all of a sudden like, all right, now let's infuse this with some energy. Let's pick this up. Let's head more into, like, by the end of the album, I feel like I'm in a sweaty basement in Southo, like drenched.
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's crazy. that is literally exactly what I have. My homie Dan plays guitar. Guitar solo at the end, he rips that. He literally used the exact same terminology to describe that song. But no, yeah, there's not like a title track on the album, but if there was, it would probably be that for sure.
What's that?
Guesses.
Oh, Guesses, yeah.
Because it definitely does just encapsulate the whole vibe, and it sums up the journey. You know? Yeah, definitely one of my favorite ones on there. It's a hard hitter for sure. My next one here. I'm gonna do, we're gonna stick with this. So this one, this is the one with Ingrid on it. I made this beat one night, just like super late night. Yeah. Like 2-3 in the morning, and I think once I made this track, I knew off the rip that this would be the intro. It has such a like gradual build up kind of thing. Yeah,
it's very warming, very inviting.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you don't want to hit too hard up front. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
but
it's
then
like
when it drops, it does can bang. But yeah, I was even just gonna leave it as an instrumental, but I had been like kind of bugging Ingrid to collab for a while. So that was another one where she was like, "You want to collab? Let's just do it." Yeah. So I sent her this track. And she murdered it. She killed it.
And then did the people that you collab with, did they master? Like, did they send you back like complete and that was it, or did you then also have to?
I actually asked everyone to just send me their raw vocals so that I could do all the mixing and shit on my own. As far as the mastering, that's all the post process, and Alec actually helped me do the final masters just the other day. And but yeah, like I said, I wanted to do all the mixing and shit myself. So all of the reverbs and the pans and the chops and all that shit, like that's why it took me so long, because I had to I had to basically relearn how to produce, but with vocals instead of beats. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
Was it difficult?
Definitely took a while. Wasn't difficult, but it was time consuming.
Yeah, tedious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. What did we say the next one was gonna be? I forget entirely.
Mahav.
Are we gonna do that one?
Yeah.
Or was it gonna be hallucinations?
Either one. I think.
I'm gonna save Mojave for they gotta hear it on the album because that's like the big grand finale.
Yeah.
You know. So
I agree.
So this one I like to use as an example here because it shows some range from what we just heard. So like we were saying earlier, it starts with, you know, that kind of super wavy, mellowed out, almost like EDM trappy feel.
Yeah.
But then the last 3 tracks here are Hallucinations, Jalifornication, and Mojave, which are all just like fucking up and house beats.
See, you know what I get from Hallucinations? Like I feel like it's like an intro in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like a party movie, right? And it's kind of just like grainy film, and like you're just like walking through like house right now, and you just see like people with like red Solo cups just kind of dancing.
Yeah.
Then you got like
slow-mo. It's like
and then you got like the
house party.
lights just kind of.
Yeah. Well, this was another one. I actually, I think I made this one on a fucking insomnia bender. I just could not sleep at all. And it was like day 2 of not being able to sleep. And it was like 5 in the morning. I was like, fuck this shit. I just gotta like focus on something else.
Yeah.
And I loved on and made this one again pretty quick. Maybe just a couple hours. Yeah, but I like this one too because it's not as bumpy as Jalifornication. It's more of a smooth vibe.
Yeah, it's a good middle ground between those two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Jali comes on and it's just like
In your
yeah, exactly.
And then this kind of like gives you a chance to like, all right, like now we're just like grooving again, and then
but when
Mojave comes back on.
The thing about Mojave too is it starts out as this kind of like super mellow, vibey shit, but then by the second drop in the outro, it's like just banging in your face. I've already played but yeah, those are a good 3 for like preview purposes, but my favorite when we were talking about earlier is definitely still Afterglow.
Yeah, I loved Afterglow. Like I said, Afterglow gave me that effect, like when you're underwater and just like fucking around and like you're going like this with your hand, and you can feel like the vibration coming on.
Yeah, hell yeah. And
then at the one point where it actually drops and you just have like, it sounds like somebody's just like screaming underwater. And like that like affected the voice, like the vibration caused like from your vocal cords, crazy. Like going out. Like
hearing that description for it like blows my mind. I don't think about that shit nearly that deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too that's so cool about all this is, so if we could take a veer off course real quick. I started making music like this because you familiar with Odessa?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was like 14 or 15, I heard their song "My Friends Never Die" for the first time, which I don't know if you've ever heard that song. It is an absolute banger. And I remember up until that point, I was just listening to like Kanye and Lil Wayne and stuff like that. So I didn't even know that this genre existed at all. Yeah. And then for whatever reason, my Spotify decided to play "My Friends Never Die" by Odessa on shuffle while I was on some radio station, and I was like, dude, what the hell am I even hearing? And I love making music where as you're listening to it the first few times, you don't even understand what you're hearing or like how it was made or anything like that. You know, it's just a complete curveball from anything that you expected or that you've heard before. Yeah. And that was when, like, I remember hearing that song and immediately I was like, I want to make music like this someday. And that's when this journey all started. But another crazy thing about that is that it's nuts that because I had to essentially teach myself how to do that for so long.
Right.
Because there's no one in Pittsburgh that does this kind of shit. You
Right.
know, no one is doing, and I'm not trying to sound cocky, nobody is making that kind of like
style. Yeah, no.
that
I mean, it's not
weighty
being cocky. It's just literally pointing out
this is-
where we are as a music city.
Yeah, there's definitely a few other producers that dabble in EDM and house and stuff. Again, like I said, I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to start shit. But none of y'all are doing it like me. That's facts. That's where I will get a little cocky. Is as far as the EDM shit goes around here, nobody's doing it like me.
Yeah.
But
yeah, honestly though, but it's kind of like there's a drawback to it too, a little bit.
that there's no scene whatsoever.
Yeah, because like
yeah,
you're essentially a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah, it sucks.
And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like if there was like a handful of other people out there who were like at your level or just like existed entirely, like at all, really.
Yeah.
Just like, I feel like it would really just like drive the scene to expand and actually like create a foothold here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because
that's,
I feel like we're still a little ways. Like,
Pittsburgh is years behind, bro. Pittsburgh is 10 years behind every other major music city. Yeah. And I'm not saying we're a major music city, but like
no,
as far
we're
as
not.
No. As far as the grand scheme, we are about a decade behind.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I agree.
But
and, you know, I think a lot of it is because of like a little bit of that ignorance towards like change here.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Pittsburgh, man. I've had a really weird experience being involved in the Pittsburgh music scene. It's very like
cliquey.
Super cliquey, and I've only met a handful of artists that actually are trying to support each other and put each other on. Everyone in the city, not everyone, that's too much, but so many people in the city, so many artists in the city, before even one person acknowledges their music, thinks that they're like the next fucking Wiz Khalifa or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone walks.
I think it's because everyone's so desperate to get out of it, where it's just like it becomes that mentality of like, you know, I gotta get there first.
Maybe, but
you know
it's
what
toxic
I mean?
as shit.
It is.
Because then if you have that mentality before, and that's why I gotta give Rain props for this. Like that dude supports everyone more than any other artist I've ever met. Like he's so fucking wholesome, and but that's where it gets toxic. Is like if you have that superstar mentality before anyone even knows your name, then no one's gonna give a shit who you are because they're just gonna like, oh, who's this douche?
Right.
You know, like this kid's just so full of himself and his music's not even that good. Like,
right.
I'm not talking about anyone in particular here, but I've just seen a lot of that sort of mentality now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's starting to come around a little bit with people like Rain being on the forefront of the music scene around here now, and like Stoney is actually really good about, you know, being involved in the community too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, I think that's what it's going to take though, is having like a smaller group of artists that really do help and support each other and everyone around them, and then that's going to be what elevates everybody up.
Yeah, you got to set the standard, the new standard.
Exactly.
You know, and it takes a while for that to become accepted, and then for other people to start following in. But
yeah,
I think it's like you said, it's starting now, and it's better late than never.
Right. Yeah, but I do like now too that the scene. It's weird to even call it a scene because it's like
it's not even a
scene.
Like
15 people.
Yeah.
You know, but it's much more diverse than just like trap rappers now, because like R.I.P. Wapo, but when Wapo was blowing up and shortly after his death, I swear like all you heard was that drill Pittsburgh city type trap shit for a while, which was sick. Like he left his mark on the city hard, but it was already done. So like all of these artists that were trying to do the same thing that he did, like you got to realize that you can't do something that's already been done and expect the same results.
Right.
So now there's a lot more diversity. There's a lot more different genres of music that are represented in the frame of Pittsburgh music, and I think that gives everyone in the long run a much better chance because you're reaching multiple different demographics,
right?
Instead of just focusing on like the city kids that just want to bump trap music,
right? Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It definitely is different now from what I was referring to earlier, where it was like that more toxic side was back when I was like 17, 18, 19 years old. So it's not as bad now for sure, but it definitely was just unbearable for a while. That's why I dipped off and wanted to become a like standalone producer because I couldn't fucking bear trying to maneuver the scene like that with all those kinds of people.
Yeah.
So
at this point, with the tracks that you have left over, what do you plan on doing with them? Are they just gonna get stored away for a little bit?
No, I mean, the good thing about this is, like I was saying, it was like an ever evolving thing. I didn't even know that the songs that I have were gonna be the final ones. So even these next songs, like I don't know what's gonna happen with them. There's a handful that I definitely want to drop as singles over the summer.
Yeah.
So I have
to
the
keep
next,
riding the wave.
Yeah, exactly. Keep surfing. I have the next like 2 or 3 releases planned, but it's not going to be for like
a couple months.
I probably won't even do it till like more towards the end of summer.
Yeah.
But just because I gotta focus on this.
Right.
But I definitely do like having these leftover tracks gives me the opportunity to make a plan ahead of time. But you know, as a creative, you're always making new shit anyway. So who knows? I might make something tomorrow that I'm like, wow, this is the best song I've ever made, and then I want to drop it in like a month or something, just as like a little bonus track. So yeah, I don't know.
Because I know we talked about a deluxe version before. Are you still thinking down that path, or
I kind of
doing kind of like what Rain did with the Plutonic playlist?
Right. Yeah. That actually might not be a bad idea. I just don't know, honestly. I think I'm gonna leave this as it is.
Yeah.
The deluxe was an idea that I floated simply because I couldn't, at one point in time, I couldn't
narrow it
down enough. Yeah. So I thought, okay, I'll do these ones now, and then, you know, if they don't hit the way that I want them to, then I can do a 12-track deluxe at some point and show like the whole thing. But with the final product that I have, I think it is complete. Yeah, I
really think it is
fluid enough.
I think so too.
To continue it.
That's one thing Misha and I talked about in the car ride home. Like after we got done listening to it, we ran it through once. Like we just went one after another. Yeah. We would take like a little bit of time in between, just like talk about the song, what we thought about it, and like what experience we had. And then at the end of the album, we were like, I'm satisfied. Like I don't like. Yeah, it's not that I don't want to hear more. It's like no, like
that was
it was complete. Like I don't feel like I'm left like wondering, all right, like
what's next?
What's next?
If it's like a cliffhanger or something. No,
it was like it was a very like it had a plot. Your album has a plot.
Hell
essentially.
Yeah.
It has the beginning, it has the middle, it has the end, and that's it.
Yeah,
like that's all you need.
That's probably why I won't. Like once this is done, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah,
you know? I don't need to. So I think that the songs that I was gonna use for deluxe, I have a brand new concept in mind for like a follow-up EP that has a very specific sound, and all of the tracks are like one very specific genre. So I might do something like that. I might just drop a couple singles, you know, I don't know, but it's down the road. Either way, I'm not going to be doing any more shit until, like I said, midsummer or the end of summer, something like that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, my friend, thank you for stopping by the Stoop today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It was.
This is awesome. Glad to be back.
It is glad. Like I said, you know, you deserve a break now. Yeah. I took my break. I'm back. Yeah. I'm rejuvenated. I can tell you're worn.
I'm exhausted.
You're a little worn. Well, maybe that has something to do with last night. Exactly. But no, I mean, it's honestly this process and just like being able to communicate with you along the way and seeing where you were at different points in time and where you've ended up has definitely, when I got to listen to it yesterday, I was so genuinely proud of you.
Hell yeah.
And just so happy for you. And just like, I was like, my boy like created a fucking masterpiece. Like it was just like, I just felt so whole, like I just felt so whole for you. And I'm just so excited to see you now reap that harvest.
Yeah. Well, that's already like, I don't give a fuck if no one listens to this, as long as like one person thinks that if it touches one person and they like and it resonates with them. And I already did that.
Yeah.
So thank you. And now, honestly, it can drop and it could get 0 streams. We're good.
But it won't.
Yeah, we'll see.
But it won't. Because I know you guys are going to go out there, go like, share, subscribe, do all the things that you know us creators need in order to provide you with future creations, really, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, make sure, as always, tune into our Instagram page at Legends of the Stoop. Colby.wav.
Yeah.
Please
If
go
this
ahead.
flops, I'm retiring, so stream it.
All right, everyone. Thank you again for stopping by the Stoop. Make sure to tune into our website at www.legendsofthestoop.com for all of our episodes, services, and make sure to stay tuned. Like I said, big changes coming soon. Make sure to tune into the social media pages in order to catch that information. Until next time, I am your host, Mike Pernice, signing off.
We're the Legends of the Stoop. We're here to advocate, educate, and inspire society. Stoop. Coming at you live from the South Side. Make sure to tune into our website at www.legendsofthestoop.com. Use the hashtag on all social platforms. Stoop. Hashtag Stoop. Legends. We the Legends of the Stoop. Coming at you live. Right here in Southside. www.legendsofthestoop.com.